Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Legacy Farmer, the podcast. This is your host, JC Young, and today's topic of discussion is this: make a frickin' decision. So today's podcast is going to be about some problems that a couple of our customers are dealing with team members, right? And these problems don't just have to exist with team members. Your team members can be non-family members, they can be family members, whoever, right? And it's really just a problem that we're dealing with people. Now, one of our members came up on our community boardroom call yesterday, and our community boardroom call is available to our entire network, and everybody jumps on there and we talk about business challenges, personal challenges, whatever is going on inside of our customer's life. And I go back to the age-old quote that is one of my favorites of all time, and it's the majority of success is in learning what not to do versus learning what to do, right? And so that's what's super valuable about our calls, guys, is people are coming on and willing to share the challenges or the mistakes that they've made. And man, it helps so many people going forward not make the same mistakes. And it also, too, what's crazy about yesterday's topic, I told the member, hey, you need to bring this up on the community boardroom call, because I guarantee there's other members that are dealing with the same thing right now that aren't sharing it, right? And they're just sitting on it. And we all know what happens when we let these problems in our lives just sit there, right? And we don't go handle them, and you avoid them for months and months or years and years. And eventually there's a massive explosion. And that's when, just things go south really fast. But yesterday, one of the customers was talking about one of their team members, and the team member is just somebody who is being disrespectful, and he is trying to figure out why. So when I run into conversations like this and really trying to diagnose what's going on with the situation, I always ask about the team member's personal life, because when you guys think about it, even if you're a business owner like me or whatever, when you bring on your team and you hire people and everything to come in and join your company and join your mission and everything, you're not only just hiring a person there for your business, you're also bringing on all that person's personal problems as well, right? And their challenges, because everybody's married, a lot of people are married, got kids, you just never really know what's going on in a person's personal life. And so with this member yesterday, those are the first things that I really dive into, because I want to figure out and diagnose what's the cause that is, ultimately triggering this guy to be disrespectful, especially to the person that writes his check. You know what I mean? And this is where it's a tough conversation, and none of us want to be in this place as business owners, because I don't want one of my team members to start being disrespectful, and then I have to pull like pull out the card that says, hey, I'm the one that writes your checks, dude. Remember who you're talking to. Like, I don't want to do that, right? I want everybody on my team to be respectful. I want to be respectful to my team members and everything there. And when we run into this situation, it's really a difficult one. And with this member yesterday, it's like he said, I don't really know how to handle this, because it's like you're paying for the guy's salary, you're providing them a job and everything like that, and then they're just showing this level of disrespect that is not necessary, nor is it appropriate at all. And it's a tough situation to be in, especially when have known the guy for a long time, and that's kind of the situation here. But here's the reality, though, guys. You have to make a decision. Otherwise, the universe is going to decide for you. Now, what do I mean by that? That statement right there is so applicable in every area of life. And the longer that we avoid handling these problems or these challenges, or really these energy leaks in our life, man, we're going to pay the price for it one day. And it's either going to be the price of taking action today or the price of not taking action, dealing with consequences later. And I can guarantee you, the consequences later are going to be far outweigh the price of taking action today and the little bit of discomfort you're going to step into by just having a crucial conversation with this team member, for example. So we talked through a lot of different things that were going on there, but the biggest thing that hit home was like, okay, the longer we avoid this problem, the bigger it's going to get, right? And eventually, if you don't make the decision today, then the universe is going to decide for you. And the universe could decide in maybe there's a massive mistake that happens in the operation. Maybe a major piece of equipment breaks down because of negligence. Maybe somebody gets hurt, like all these different things, right? And that's what I'm saying, guys. It's like we have these energy leaks in your life, and the energy leak could be, again, a team member, a family member, or whatever. And the longer you let that energy leak sit there, like, it's going to get more painful, and the universe is going to decide for you. And when the universe decides, it's typically not going to be very good, and it's going to be a lot more painful versus just going ahead and approaching and having that conversation today. And what we call this inside of Legacy Farmer is really a collision, right? And a collision doesn't mean a fight. A collision means, hey, we're going to get together and we're going to talk open and honestly about some of these issues that we're facing right now. And we're going to talk calmly. We're not going to be screaming and yelling and all that chaos or anything like that, but we're going to talk calmly, because ultimately collision brings clarity. right? And this is the challenge here too, is the longer you avoid having these conversations or really facing up to these things, both parties are going to be unclear. You're not clear on what they want. They're not clear on what you want. You're not clear on what the issue is. They may not even be clear that there is an issue. Like there's all these things that go on here. And that's why we have to have the courage as a business owner and as a leader to have this collision so that we can ultimately gain clarity. And the clarity, it could be a really good thing, right? It could be give you the ability to learn why the other person is being disrespectful, or it could give you the ability to learn that, hey, this person isn't the right person for my team and I need to handle this now. And we need to go ahead and get rid of this person potentially now so that we don't have problems down the road. But at least you're clear, right? At least you're clear. Unless you have the courage to have the conversation and ultimately have that collision, you are not going to be clear on what action steps you need to take going forward. And neither is the other party, right? So guys, that's why we have to have this courage to do this, because again, if you do not make the decision, the universe is going to decide for you. And when the universe decides, it is not going to be good. And I have faced this so many freaking times in my life, even before I became an entrepreneur, but especially after I became an entrepreneur, because as a business owner, we want to hide from the problems. It's so much easier to pretend they're not there and to just bury them. And I see this all the time with guys in numbers, right? Looking at finances and stuff like that. 99% of farmers and ranchers in this country, guys, I'm 100% confident that they do not have any idea where they're at financially. And they will sit there and they will lie straight to your face because deep down they are scared and they fear knowing the numbers, right? And it's a gap for them and they don't want to expose the gap. And I get that. But unless we have the courage to expose the gap, how are we clear on what we're supposed to do going forward? You know what I mean? And so it's just an interesting cycle that we are stuck in as business owners. And anyway, at the end of the day, the way the conversation ended yesterday was we had this customer make a commitment that we're going to have this conversation by Friday and we're going to get this thing handled so that we can both be clear on what action steps we need to take going forward. For our customer, it may be, hey, yeah, we need to get rid of this guy. He's an energy leak to the entire team and stuff like that, because the team member currently is, or maybe the team member is going to become clear on, hey, I need to shape up because I'm letting some of my personal stuff bleed over into the business and it's having a negative impact here. And it could ultimately impact my financial life, right? And potentially getting fired and not getting paid anymore and stuff like that, right? So we got to have the courage to have the collision so people can get clear on what we need to do going forward. Period. End of story. That's it. So at the end of the day, whatever energy leaks you have in your life right now, I want you to consider two different options. What happens and how painful will it be if I handle this today? Second question, what happens if I continue to avoid this, pretend that it doesn't exist, and wait for it to potentially be handled by the universe or God at some point in the future? Guarantee you, option number 2 is going to be a lot more painful. So my friend, I hope you found this episode valuable, and hopefully it brought some different ideas and things into your life. And ultimately, hopefully it helps you take action inside of your life as well. So that concludes today's episode. We will catch you on the next one.
What's up, everyone? My name is Jace Young. I'm the founder of a company called Legacy Farmer, and inside of that company, what we do is we've helped over 300 family farms simplify and streamline the entire financial side of their operation and help them learn their numbers at a deep, deep level so that they can implement the systems and the processes to make sure that their operation lives on for generations into the future.